I do not know. Rayon forced himself to raise his head, facing Glenn's overbearing gaze directly. Suppressing the urge to close his eyes, he continued. I've been raised in the annex building, and not in the main building. I don't know how high and mighty Zekeheart is. Rayon. Sylvia desperately called for him, but he didn't look back. That's why I want to see for myself what kind of place is Zekeheart, by participating in training. Once Rayon finished talking, everyone held their breath and looked at Glenn. One of Glenn's eyebrows raised slightly. Do you mean that you will judge Zekeheart from basic training? That is the only way I can learn about Zekeheart right now. Then I will have to make sure that the instructor is fully prepared, so that you won't be disappointed. The room of audience became as quiet as a mouse, as Glenn's red eyes blazed. Coup. Being unable to withstand it any further, Rayon finally bowed his head. He was only 12 years old, a child who couldn't endure a thousandth of Glenn's pressure. Yet he didn't give in. If he kept cultivating the Ring of Fire, and learned an efficient way of handling aura, he would be able to properly stand in front of him one day. Deciding that he would show that with action instead of word, he clenched his teeth. One day. Once everyone had left, only Glenn and his butler Roan remained in the silent audience chamber. Did you see? Yes, I saw it clearly. Roan nodded his head firmly in response to Glenn's question. That boy sure is something. The corners of Glenn's mouth lifted. A 12-year-old child that confidently talks back while withstanding my pressure. I have never seen something like that. It's my first time seeing it, as well. Roan smiled, tidying his hair. Not only his appearance, but his spirit is also just like my lord's in his childhood. Don't say strange things. Glenn snorted, as if telling him to stop spouting nonsense, but the corners of his mouth lifted even more, like a leaf blowing in the wind. Are you going to increase the difficulty of basic training? I shall, because many people have heard. Can young Master Rayon really pass? Participating would already be difficult. Glenn shook his head without hesitation. His condition is better thanks to the elixir, but neither his constitution nor his health is good enough. Maybe he can once he recovers a bit more, but it's impossible for now. Then why? I've already mentioned it. There are no exceptions for those inheriting the name of Zekeheart. Rowan licked his lips,